I feel like that's exactly what a game should have been. And I'm so happy that this game was that way. Bruins fans, I think you know what time it is. It is time to hug it out. Because that was a 3-2 victory over the Dallas Stars. Welcome back to Into the Den. Look, before we even get to anything regarding tonight, there is something that I want to at least a little bit follow up on regarding the Hockey Fights Cancer night with the Bruins, and that is during the pregame of this game. My friend Hannah Carpenter, you might have seen her from this. Sorry for the scuffed recording on this one, but you might have remembered her from this right here. You might have remembered her from just the incredible amount of emotion she showed from that. Hannah's a decently good friend of mine, at least on Twitter, and she was able to go into the Nesson studio during the pregame and share some of her story tonight with Adam Pellerin, and the fact that she was able to do that is just, it's so heartwarming, and it's part of what makes hockey as a sport so great. It brings us all together. It brings us all together in a way that like other sports can say that they do, but hockey is just, it's so good. So props, hats off to Hannah, and lucky for them, they ended up getting a fantastic game for their story to be told on. So without further ado, let's get into the game. First, like, comment, and subscribe. Flawless plug there. Let's be honest, this game, this was the most fun game all season. And I think the biggest reason why is because Dallas is one of those teams that combines top to bottom talent with a decent amount of grit. Like I'm not kidding when I say that Dallas potentially has one of the best top nines in all of hockey. I think the only team that may be able to rival them where that's concerned is New Jersey. But Dallas, I think if you are on a team where one of your regular third line players is freaking, who is it? Is freaking Matt Duchene, you're in a good spot. You're in a fantastic spot. But despite this top to bottom talent on Dallas's forward core, they're only playing with 11 forwards and instead playing with 7 defensemen. And honestly, if you're subbing a third fourth line forward to bring in a third pair defenseman, it's not exactly always going to show up on the stat sheet, whether or not that ends up being the case. But we go into this game coming off of a frustrating loss, and thankfully Monty has learned. Monty has learned that you don't separate players that go well together. Case in point, DeBrusk is on the top line with Marchand, and Pasternak is on the second line with Zacha. The only thing that could be better about this is put Coyle back with back with Frederick. Okay, Frederick has been having us. Frederick has been kind of middling all season. And you put Coyle back with Frederick, and I swear to God, Freddie's gonna turn into a 20-goal scorer. You can quote me on that one. You can quote me. Put it in quotes. You put Coyle back with Frederick, and Freddie turns into a 20-goal scorer. Into the Den, 2023. Anyway, we start this game, and Boston is dominating for the first like 15 minutes. It's like genuine, like, and what's weird is the fourth line is probably our best line throughout this. Heinen, Beecher, and Steen, and it culminates in a moment that I have been waiting for since 2019. Johnny Beecher is one of my favorite. Johnny Beecher is currently probably my favorite player on the Bruins. I have been following him since Michigan, and he has been fun to watch. He doesn't put up an insane amount of points, but he is big, he is fast, and he utilizes it properly. And tonight it culminated in a fantastic goal from him. First of all, Bruins putting up repeated pressure in the offensive zone on something that we haven't seen in a little bit. Lindholm ends up firing the puck off the end board, and that V bounces to the other face-off circle where Beecher comes down, circles back around, and he is patiently waiting for this, and he just completely beats Jake Ottinger here, and to score your first goal in the NHL, that's special. To score your first goal in the NHL against Jake freaking Ottinger, who even though he was the worst goalie tonight, is still absolutely a top 5 goalie in the entire NHL and is 100% going to win a Vezina at some point. That's insane. That is insane. And Beach, you hold on to that puck. You hold on to that puck and don't forget from where you came. And you dare forget where you came from. This was fantastic. And what happens a little bit later on? Mason Lohrei. Oh my God, Mason Lohrei. During another prolonged spot and stint in the Stars zone, which again facilitated by the Bruins' fourth line. Lohrei actually makes a fantastic chip shot to Mitchell, to Ian Mitchell, to keep the puck alive to keep the puck in as two Stars defensemen are converging onto him, and Mitchell fires it deep into the zone to Heinen for him to draw a little bit of pressure. Heinen passes it back to Lohrei, who is wide ass open. Kick your fucking feet up and have a freaking spa day. Why don't you? And he just freaking and he also beats. It's freaking Jake Ottinger for his first goal. Well, now what I love about this is that Beecher went to Michigan and Lohrei went to Ohio State. So Michigan scoring the first goal on this one just really shows you whose side God is on that one, on that rivalry. But anyway, we go. Throughout the rest of the first period, the Stars end up picking up a little bit of steam. And Swayman, oh my God, we can talk all we want about who deserves the praise here, but there is nobody who who deserves it more than Jeremy Swayman tonight. Jeremy Swayman, fantastic. What I was thinking, like, man, Sway, you showing a little bit of Timmy Thomas there. He was just flying all over the place, like, here I come to save the day. Now in the second period, this was all Dallas. It was again, Swayman, complete freaking brick wall here, pretty much bailing out the entire defense, which honestly is a little bit concerning. Like, I truly think that with Grizzlick, McAvoy, and Forward out, Carlo desperately needs to see a chiropractor with how much he is carrying this defense on his back. But oh my God, Swayman's chiropractor is going to need a chiropractor for how bad he's carrying the Bruins defense here. And when the Bruins end up getting a few opportunities in the Stars zone, freaking Ottinger is just square to it. He knows exactly what is going on, and like, there's one point where Pasta is handling it from his spot. You know exactly the one I'm talking about, the left face-off dot. He's handling it. He pushes it forward a little bit, and that usually gets goalies to jump. Ottinger just not phased at all. And that, honestly, that right there was sort of the moment that I knew this is going to be a long night from this guy. He is in it for the long haul. And to be fair, the Stars defense, it's particularly guys like Yanni Hakanpää, Miro Heiskanen, and even the young guys like Thomas Harley, they really help. Though they did have a few mishaps, ultimately they made sure that the majority of the shots that Ottinger was facing, he was able to just bat aside. Meanwhile, Swayman, like I said, he had to show some shades of Timmy Thomas there, just to keep the Bruins alive. Now, go into the third period, and this is where the cracks definitely start to show a little bit. We allow a goal from Wyatt Johnston, and this is where Monty shows a little more of a shade of Bruce Cassidy again, because Asa Lindell is the one who fires the shot, and Johnston is the one who deflects it past Swayman. I almost said Allmark. Lohrei should have been the stopgap there. He should have been the one to make sure that didn't happen, and he unfortunately allowed it to happen. After that moment, which happened in 5 minutes into the period, for 12 minutes, Lohrei only got one shift. That is discouraging. Not necessarily on Lohrei, but definitely on Monty. It's sort of just like, and yeah, I understand. And young guys, you gotta give them you gotta discipline them a little bit when they don't play well. But and I know, hockey is such a direct sport with ultimately margins of error that are both broad as hell and razor thin at the same time, that like 20 seconds could ultimately determine the outcome of a hockey game. Like, not even 20 seconds, more like 5 seconds could determine the outcome of a hockey game. I say this as if entire NFL games haven't been determined by a 13-second drive. If NBA games haven't been decided by one block, and MLB games haven't been decided by whatever the hell Angel Hernandez fucks up this time. And like, I get it. You have a guy who just scored his first goal on this game, and you want to keep him. You want to make sure that he's still playing well, and when he doesn't play well, you want to make sure that he knows, hey, wake up! Wake up! It's the first of the month. You're not playing well, and that's sort of the shades it's here. But we get this one back pretty quickly, like less than 5 minutes later. Mason Marchment ends up going for holding the stick on Pastrnak, which honestly, I'm not gonna lie, Marchment has moved around from one team to the next on such a quick basis that I completely forgot that this was his second season in Dallas. But anyway, Marchment ends up going for holding the stick, and less than 5 seconds into that less than 10 seconds into that power play, we have already scored. We win the face-off. Pastrnak takes it back a little bit and fires, and oh my god, I do not expect to be saying this in the year 2023, but it is so hard right now to find an NHL player who has better net front presence than James Van Riemsdyk. Because without him, this puck just gets corralled by Ottinger. But Pastrnak fires it. JVR keeps it from Otter. Handles it a little bit and puts it on puts it on Marchand's stick, and Marshy just tucks it behind Otter to put the Bruins up 3-1. And oh, captain, my captain, that is what we want to see. That is something that we love to see. Both the young guys and the old timers kicking it together on the ice, and it's fun. This team is fun. This team is really fucking fun. I can't not smile when they're on the ice. Really, you weren't smiling during that Detroit game? First of all, shut the fuck up, smartass. Second of all, you're absolutely right. In any case, for the next 10 minutes, it feels like Dallas is picking up the pace is a little bit more. It feels like at the start they wanted us to die a death by 1,000 cuts. And then as the ball gets rolling a little bit more, they wanted to pick up the pace. And Swayman, oh my god, just give me just let me carry your load a little bit, because you have carried this entire defense so much. And unfortunately, it all culminates in about 3 minutes left when the Stars pull Jake Ottinger. We almost get one of the funniest freaking empty net goals ever. I think, I think Marchand bumps into Jamie Benn, and both of them go down, which honestly, the idea of Jamie Benn going down on anything is hilarious. Real Ben heads know what I'm talking about there. Both of them go down and Marchand from the ice is just tries to sweep it, and the puck is just inching closer and closer, and it goes like a foot wide. I would have loved to see that go in, it's as Jack says, a tumbling muffin. But we end up less than with less than a minute left, like father like son, Wyatt Johnston's landlord, also known as Joe Pavelski, ends up scoring on a and this was definitely one that like, okay, yeah, the defense needed to fucking clear this one, because again, Swayman cannot do everything on this defense. He can try, and boy howdy does he try. But ultimately, at some point, we were going to hear probably the only good Pantera song that's ever been made. Yes, I said that "Puck Off" is the only good Pantera song ever. Fight me. Fuck Phil Anselmo. All my homies hate Phil Anselmo. Anyway, with about 5 seconds left, we end up again on the penalty kill. This time, it's Hampus Lindholm it's Hampus Lindholm tripping Jamie Benn. Again, this shouldn't have been a penalty, if for no other reason than it happened to Jamie Benn. Again, fuck Jamie Benn. But this one was pretty much the Bruins needed to win this face-off. Because there were only 6 seconds left in the game. And like I said, 6 seconds can determine the outcome of any hockey game. And what happens? Coyle wins the face-off against, I think, Roope Hintz. And we somehow end up turning the puck over. Miro Heiskanen just fires it on net, and Swayman stops it. And that is how we win it. That is how we win it, and honestly, it is a win that we absolutely needed to have. Because we needed, as the beast of the East, we needed to beat the best of the West. I say that as if Vegas didn't exist. It doesn't exist, but in any case, that I still maintain Dallas is fantastic. Dallas is fantastic, and they are probably going to be the closest thing to. They're going to be a contender for President's Trophy this season. And yes, I know President's Trophy doesn't mean jack diddly freaking squat, but you know what? It's still indicative of a strong team. Like that's the thing that people need to understand. And like, you can say President's Trophy doesn't mean anything. It's still indicative of your team being good. Yeah, you could say that the Rocket Richard doesn't mean anything. You could say that there is not a single freaking there is not a single thing in this game that matters other than the Stanley Cup. And yet every single career statistic is judged on a regular season basis, which is hilarious. But I'm getting off track here. Next game, it's against the Islanders, who play a much different game than in Dallas. Whereas Dallas can sometimes feel like all gas, no brakes. This one, the Islanders, they are very much death by 1,000 cuts here. And I hope that the Bruins are equipped to deal with it. It will also be the final game of Charlie McAvoy's suspension, because as we haven't heard anything back as to whether or not the appeal went through. And and you know what? I think he's served enough time. He's served enough time, and the Bruins have suffered enough without him. So let's pack it in here. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys on Thursday. Take care.